Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Papaya Pod, a McLaren F1 podcast. I am your host, Jimmy, and this week, something a little bit different. We haven't got a guest this week, so I'm riding solo. Just see how it plays out. Could be good, could be terrible, who knows? Hopefully, it'll be good. Hopefully, you'll continue to listen. I had to do a podcast because there is so much to talk about after the USA Grand Prix last weekend. Quite a lot happens. It wasn't the most eventful race ever, but it certainly made for an exciting end of the season. So yeah, we're gonna talk repercussions, papaya rules, slow pit stops, overtakes. Let's just see how we go. We're gonna start right there. Let's start with the repercussions. So last week, media day, both drivers, Lando and Oscar, came out to the media and were talking about the incident previously in Singapore, and they both used the words repercussions. Said that it had been discussed in the briefings with the team, and Lando would face repercussions for the remainder of the season. Now, as soon as I heard this, it was my initial thought was, oh my God, why are the media team allowing them to even share this information? Especially wording it repercussions. It sounded very serious, and you just sort of think, oh God, I love McLaren, I love all the team, but come on, guys, this should never have been a thing. Let the drivers come out and say it's being dealt with internally. Done. That's all they needed to say. I don't know why they felt the need to tell us all that there was repercussions. We still don't know what these repercussions are, but by all accounts, it's things like Oscar has the right of way to decide when he's going to come out for qualifying. That's my understanding. That's what we're being told. Of course, the team hasn't confirmed this because I don't think they're ever going to, but that's sort of the impression we're getting, at least from the media. But yeah, I do think it was a terrible decision to let them come out and talk about repercussions because it opened a whole new can of worms for the media and for social media to jump on because McLaren haven't had enough of that this season, apparently. So why not just give everyone a little bit more to talk about? Terrible decision, I have to say. Yeah, there we go. That's what I've got to say on that. Let's talk about it. The sprint race, US Grand Prix. We all saw it. The start. Whose fault was it? Yes, it was a racing incident. I hold the opinion that in lap one, in turn one, you probably can't do what Oscar did and expect there to be that space on the inside. I think we can all pretty much agree with that. It was he was in his own little world. I get that. He was trying to get past Lando. I get that. But it was ultimate. It was inevitable that that was going to happen. Doing the cutting back across there on that lap one. Yeah, that was inevitable. So, oh, obviously, then crashed into Hulkenberg, who then pushed him into Lando, wiped both the McLarens out. No points in sprint. Max goes on to win. Your initial thought from that is, do the repercussions still count? Okay, Piastri didn't necessarily crash into Norris. He was pushed into him. But even so, it was still a very, very risky move for both cars. It put them both at massively high risk. Now, with Papaya rules, don't crash, right? Race, but don't crash into each other. Lando nudged Oscar in Singapore because he was avoiding Max. Oscar completely wiped out Lando. Okay, technically, because he got wiped out, I get that. Are there now repercussions, or have them repercussions just been lost? Let's see what they say. I don't know what the media day's going to hold. We'll see. I'm sure questions will be asked. Hopefully, they're advised a little bit better this time on what they should and shouldn't say. I guess we'll all find out eventually, but you have to ask the question. Certainly, Lando came out, he didn't hold Oscar responsible in any way. He was quite clear with that. I respect that. I like that a lot. But ultimately, Oscar's attempted overtake caused them both to be out of sprint. Very valuable points lost. Okay, it's only a sprint, but still valuable points, which Max has proved the week over the entire weekend. About the actual race. So you kind of think, oh, it's only a sprint, not too many points lost. It's okay, we can live with that. And then the start of the race happens, and I mean, Oscar's way off the pace last weekend after qualifying. Oscar was way off. Lando had a chance, and then the start happens. Lando again, not the greatest of starts, but it wasn't the worst start in the world. Leclerc just got off better than him. So then he got stuck behind him, obviously. We all know how it happened. It took him a long, long time to get past him. He was on track limit, a track limit warning after I think it was like 21 laps, or he was in the 21st lap. I think he was on Lando was on track limits. That must massively affect your race because that is playing in the back of your head. You do one more track limit, 5 second penalty. So for him to actually get past Leclerc when he did, I thought was fantastic. Obviously, Leclerc's strategy was pretty good. Maybe Lando should have started on the softs. Who knows? In McLaren's defense, there was a lot of data that they would have got from the sprint that they didn't get because obviously both cars crashed out. So maybe that played a little part in why they just went with the mediums. I don't know. I guess that's down to them to know whether they tell us or not again. Who knows? But Leclerc's strategy worked for him, absolutely. Lando did eventually get past him, but then of course the slow pit stop again. Seems to be the second McLaren's second pit stop every single time. That gun just doesn't want to play ball. Who knows why? My understanding is it's not something that they can just change because of the regulations and everything. So will this continue for the remainder of the season? I guess again, we'll find out. Let's hope not. It didn't end up being a horrendous pit stop like the 5, 6 second ones we've seen. It was was it 3.8, I believe, seconds? I'm not sure. But it was still too long. And McLaren was so consistent with their pit stops before the issues they've had in recent races, and it is a massive worry. It must play on the drivers' minds, absolutely. Obviously, plays on the mechanics' minds. It has to, and it certainly plays on the fans' minds because it just does, and it plays on my mind every single pit stop. When you used to be so confident that they would go in and it would be a 2.2 second pit stop, a 2 second pit stop, a 1.8 second pit stop last year. They were so consistent with it. So now that becomes a massive worry, along with all the pressure that they've got on them. They are world champions, absolutely. Of course, you might see in the background, I've got a new picture up there, world champions. But they do want the drivers, of course they do. But it's uh, it's now looking more and more under threat. I think we mentioned on the pod a few episodes ago, or a couple of episodes ago, was Max in the running all of a sudden? And if I'm being honest, I said yes, he was, but did I truly believe it? Probably not. Um, but now, yes, I absolutely believe it. It's incredible what Max Verstappen's done. Max Verstappen is an incredible driver. We all know this, whether you love him or hate him. He is the best driver on the grid, has been for a number of years. I don't think that's up for debate. And when all's said and done, he will probably go down as one of the great all-time drivers. I'm absolutely certain of that. He may already well be that, whether he wins this year or not. But to do what he's done, yes, Red Bull sorted their car out. Obviously, that plays a massive part. But even so, it feels like this is something only Max Verstappen could do. Get himself back into this when he was absolutely nowhere near. I saw a poll I shared recently that I forget who did it now, apologies, but they did a poll and Max Verstappen came through as the favourite to win the Drivers' Championship. I think that is ludicrous. Yes, he's got a chance. Yes, McLaren should be worried. Is he the favourite? Absolutely not. And neither is Lando right now, in my opinion. Yes, Lando's in form, But Oscar's still leading the championship, and I believe he's still 14 points clear. So Oscar has to be the favourite. And I would absolutely not rule Oscar out of winning this weekend in Mexico because he can't have just changed overnight like this. I mean, he's not won since Zandvoort, which was 5 races ago, and he's only been on the podium once since then, which was Monza, which was the next race after Zandvoort. So he's not been on the podium for the last 3 races. Of course, he crashed out in Baku as well. Um, is that signs of pressure? Possibly. We didn't think Oscar suffered with pressure because he's the Iceman, right? He doesn't show the emotion, but he's young. He's only in his third year. He's leading the drivers' championships with 5 races to go now. But 6, 7, 8, 9 races, take your pick. Maybe the pressure's just got to him a little bit, perhaps. Obviously, with all this other stuff, with the Papaya rules and stuff, that's got to him. We've seen that. We saw it at Silverstone. And we saw it in Singapore. We saw it with the slow pit stop. Um, that has got to him. So maybe just all these things have just sort of got in his head a little bit, and the pressure has just got too much. Who knows? In Zandvoort, I think he was 32 points clear of Lando and 104 points clear of Max. Now, Lando is, sorry, he's only 14 points clear of Lando and just 40 points clear of Max Verstappen. That is incredible. A hell of a turnaround. Obviously, Max Verstappen's gained the most points and is the informed driver without any shadow of a doubt. But Max still has to perform a miracle to win this Drivers' Championship. Make no mistake about it. They really need McLaren to mess up some more DNFs, and he needs to win almost every race. Okay, not if they DNF more than one race, of course he doesn't. But there's still a hell of a lot for Max to do, and it would be a miracle. And even as a McLaren fan, yes, I would be devastated that it wasn't one of our drivers that win it. But I would take my hat off to the man. Seriously, it would be unbelievable, but not in a good way. I certainly don't want it to happen, as I'm sure most of you don't. Max fans are probably screaming. If any are listening to this, I wouldn't have thought so. But yeah, it would be incredible. But I hope it doesn't happen. For me, like I said, Oscar's still got to be the favourite. He's the one leading. If you were any of those 3 drivers, you would want to be Oscar. You would want to be leading the championship by 14 points, not trailing by 14 or by 40, which Max is. And I'm sure Lando and Max would both say the same thing. They would rather be in Oscar's position than their own position because he is leading the championship. Seems pretty obvious, right? But yeah, we'll see. I mean, Mexico will be interesting. We got 5 races left, and it's it's gonna be it's tense. It's what a lot of people have been asking for, and non-McLaren fans. They're weirdly sick of McLaren winning, which, funnily enough, last year the same people were sick of Max winning all the time, but now they want him to win. So yeah, you work it out. I'm still a bit baffled by that one. But we could legitimately be going into the final race of the season with 3 drivers capable of winning the championship. That is a serious possibility. I don't know when the last time that happened was. I'm going to actually look that up. Um, but the fact that that's even possible, with 5 races to go, we could be going into the final race with 3 contenders. Um, wow, that's going to be nervous for McLaren fans. I really hope that isn't the case. I'd quite happily go into it with 2 in the Papaya cars, fighting for the championship, but I do not want that Red Bull involved. So if the McLaren boys can wrap it up before that, that would be great for all of our nerves. And I think I speak for all McLaren fans when I say we would appreciate that. Thank you very much. Just wanted to go back again on when Lando was on track limits. Um, Will Joseph's message to him was absolutely hilarious. It was so British. And it was something along the lines of, Hi Lando, I know you're busy right now, but just to let you know, we've reached track limits. The actual video came out, and it was when Lando was overtaking Charles Leclerc. Whether that was slightly delayed and it wasn't actually in that moment, I'm not sure, but it was made out to be in the moment he was overtaken, and I just thought it was quite funny the way Will very politely said, I know you're busy right now, overtaking Charles Leclerc. Yeah, just had to go back and touch on that because it was very amusing. And the one final thing doing the rounds, a lot of the media seems to be talking about it. Is it time for McLaren to choose a driver to favour to have a stronger chance of winning this Drivers' Championship? Um, my opinion is quite simple. No, absolutely not. You can't come this far into a season claiming you've got two number one drivers and they're free to race. Again, Papaya rules and all that. And then all of a sudden say, actually, we're going to favour this one. Or who do you even favour at this point? Oscar's leading the championship. Obvious choice, right? Lando's the informed driver right now. So do you favour him? I don't think you can favour either. I don't think they will favour either. I think it would just, they got the constructors down. If the constructors were still in the balance, I think there would be a lot more team interference, the way Max is closing. But they've got the constructors in the bag. This is now the driver. I know they still want it, but just let them race. Absolutely. I think they will. I hope they will. Of course, we don't want to see them crashing out and doing stupid things to each other that could put them at high risk. But we want to see them race. We don't want to see anything handed to anyone. They don't want it handed to them. They don't want it given away either. So let's just let them race, man. I can't see Andrea Stella or Zach Brown saying it's time to choose a driver. I don't get that at all. I think people would it would be up it would cause uproar as well with maybe I think McLaren fans and also other fans of the other teams, just Formula One fans in general, because we want to see racing. That's what we're here for. That's why we love the sport. Just let them race. I'm a bit fed up of hearing about these people in the media saying, "Oh, they need to pick a driver now. It's time to pick someone and back them." Like, no, absolutely not. You've got the constructors. Just let them race it out. Just it's going to be an exciting final five races, put it that way. And we got two sprints in there as well. So there's still a long way to go. Well, it feels like we're nearing the end of the season, but I mean, five races and two sprints. That's a hell of a lot of points to still race for. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. Hopefully, Lando and Oscar can get back to it this weekend in Mexico. How amazing would it be to see a 1-2? Both of them back on the podium. 1-2. Max nowhere near it. And maybe Carlos Sainz at third. That'll do, wouldn't it? That'll be a nice little weekend for us McLaren fans. Yeah, let's go with a 1-2. Either way round. I don't want to be called biased by anyone because yeah, I personally, no, what the hell? I'm going to say it. I'm going to put my neck out there. I want Lando to win. I want Oscar to come second, and I want Carlos Sainz to come third. There we go. That's what I want. Will it happen? Probably not. But as long as the first two are right, that's all that matters. Guys, that's it from me. Like I say, something a bit different this week, but I had to get something out there because of what happened last weekend. It needed to be talked about because it's not been talked about enough by other people apparently. But I wanted to get my two pence worth in. Hopefully you stuck around for this. Hopefully you enjoyed it. It's not actually easy doing it on your own. Got nobody to ask questions to. That's what I'm better at. But it's been good fun. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. We should be back next week with a guest back to normal. I try not to bore you with these too often, but needs must, right? We've got to get the content out there. But yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. I've been Jimmy. This has been the Papaya Pod. And until next time, never stop racing.